Good afternoon, everybody. This is our first ever Big Ten Coaches Chat. I am Steve Solberg. I am the head cheerleading coach at Purdue University, but I will be serving as your host today as Purdue's in the West. And so we will be doing our presentation next week, but here, happy to use this platform to bring in my friends, my colleagues from the Big Ten East. We're breaking this up to try to keep the groups a little smaller so that we're not keeping you here for 3 hours, try to keep everything here within an hour. Now, if you have any questions, if you are watching on YouTube or Facebook, if you in the comments section or for the live chat for YouTube, if you have any questions for our coaches, type them in. We will get those questions to them as quickly as possible. Again, you are going to be meeting each coach from the Big Ten East. We're going to go in alphabetical order. So the first presenter will be Julie Horine from Indiana University, followed by Maryland, followed by Michigan, followed by Michigan State, followed by Ohio State, followed by Penn State, and Rutgers will be rounding out our Big Ten East. And then again, at the very end, we would be happy to answer any questions you may have. Also, in addition, we are going to be having a virtual Q&A one-on-one meet and greet with each coach in groups, again, in the Big Ten East and the Big Ten West. And so if you are interested in that, we are going to have the Big Ten East coaches Zoom meeting in 2 weeks. It gives you a couple weeks to register and get ready for it. So in 2 weeks, on Tuesday, June 16th at 3 p.m. Eastern. All right, you can register through the Google form there. I will also put that link in the chat for everybody. So you have it. Okay, so in the comments, you should have the link. You will get the link to the Google form. Please register there so we know how many people to expect. And again, meet the Big Ten East coaches. They can meet you. Parents are welcome to join. Anybody that's interested in learning about each of the Big Ten East programs and schools, please join us again on Zoom on June 16th, at 3 p.m. Eastern. And again, we will be happy to kind of meet everybody one-on-one and to kind of make it more personal, answer any questions, and also follow up with any information that people may have about the Big Ten East schools. So it looks like we are rocking and rolling. Looks like we got a pretty good amount of people watching us right now, which is great. So let's start things off with Indiana University and Julie Horine. Julie.
Hey, Steve.
How are you?
Oh, you know, Steve, they're keeping us separate. They put you in the West and I'm in the East. That's what they do in Indiana.
That's what they had to do. Thankfully, they saved rivalry games, and we can still play each other now twice in basketball, which is great. So I'm glad for that. Yes, there was a few years we weren't, and that kind of broke my heart, to be honest.
Well, you know.
But
that's what they do. They like to separate us. Like they send us to our rooms. That's what they do.
Well, thank you again for being here, Julie. And are you ready to present to everybody information about University in your cheer program?
Absolutely. So everybody bear with me. Hopefully this works. So it's kind of funny that I'm going first. So here we go.
Couple of disclaimers, everybody. Number one, we are live, so anything can happen when we go live, okay? Number two, we are working on technology, and sometimes technology fails us. So if we have to mix and match and make things work, we will do that. So looks like we have Julie's PowerPoint. Perfect. So Julie, take it away, and please talk to us about Indiana University.
So Steve, are you going to drive this for me, or do I need to do this?
You're in charge now. You're driving.
Okay. Just want to make sure. So, it's not going to, I don't think it's going to work. Oh, here it is. I don't know if it's going to work or not.
I think it's working. Yeah, I can see it. I can see your cursor. You just got to click. You guys just select the next.
Okay, we're going to see if it works. Okay, so hey everybody, I'm Julie with Indiana, and thank you all for taking the time to be with us. The first thing that I do want to be sure that I highlight before we go through the program highlights that for the cheer part is, as always, I would encourage you to pick your university for your major first, and then the cheer part would be great. So I'm extremely excited. I love my coaching staff and the group that we have that work together. So I have that up to give you an idea who works with me in Indiana. So you'll see this is my 32nd year going into coaching. I am an IU grad, and I did cheer at IU as well. So I have two assistant head coaches. I have Tony Nash, who his focus is with the all-girl team, the all-female team. Megan Nash, she's our assistant head coach. She focuses with the co-ed team. And then our assistant coaches, Liz Cross, Connor Norwood, and Kristen Zupanzik. And it's really awesome. Out of the 6 of us, 5 of us are Indiana grads. So it's kind of great. We have a real great understanding of the university and what it takes to get our degree, which is amazing. So some program highlights we have. We do have 2 full-time administrators for the program. And I know that depending on kind of what you're looking for, and I always say it depends on what your measuring stick is. I do believe that both of our teams are very successful at Indiana. From a cheers aspect, I think our all-female team has a little bit more nationwide recognition due to their success down at our UCA Nationals. We are fortunate to have 6 national titles with that team. So that's a great thing for us. We do have $200 stipends we give each semester for academic performance. So those go to our highest GPAs semester and overall, and then we balance out anybody else who has the highest GPAs that semester. And I'm super proud our program had 11 4.0s this past semester, and 31 out of the 48 had a 3.5 or higher. So we also have a full-time strength coach that works with us. We have an academic advisor, and most important, we have a head athletic trainer and a full-time GA that's designated just for us to take care of us day in and day out to help manage that. We do have access to team doctors and full medical coverage as well. Should you choose, you also have access to the athletic dining areas with the other athletic teams if that's something you would like to do while you're on campus. We do provide all uniforms and we are an Adidas school, so they get everything provided for you from shoes, shorts, T-shirts, everything that you would need. So that's a new thing coming out of high school where I know you're traditionally used to paying for a lot of things. So it's a nice perk for whatever university you choose to go to. We also cover all expenses, anything that would endure like just being a part of the program, whether it's summer camp, travel, food, postseason. The university does cover college nationals for us, so that's a huge perk. The end of year banquet and all awards. And I think it's really awesome. I will tell you, I think we have an amazing parent group and we have liaisons throughout the year. So we definitely involve our parents and we want them to be a part of it because they do tend to miss their cheerleader throughout the year. So I know I went through that really quick, but we have 5 minutes. So we do have 2 teams in our program. We have a co-ed team and an all-female team. We traditionally take anywhere from 8 to 10 males and 8 to 10 females on our co-ed team. They will cheer all home football games and they cheer home men's basketball games. They would be the team that would travel to a bowl game and postseason's men's basketball tournaments. We would compete the co-ed team if that's something that we want to work towards. If we did, we would compete Division 1A in either traditional or the game day category. Our Crimson squad is our all-female cheer team. We take anywhere from 32 to 36. They cheer home football as well, and we do a split season of women's and men's basketball for them. So we do divide that number into 2 groups, an A-B group, and they cheer half women's, half men's. They are the team that travels with our women's basketball team, and they do compete annually in Division 1A all-girl with UCA in Orlando. And these were last year's teams that we had, and we are excited. We do have our teams selected for this year. It was very different. It was new for us. And like everybody else, we did them through video. We're excited to see them at some point. Hopefully it will be before August 1st. So that's kind of Indiana in a nutshell. And again, I would encourage you to make sure that Indiana has the degree you're trying to pursue. So if you want to be a veterinarian, you're going to have a hard time finding that degree for 4 years, but we have pretty much everything else. So be sure that's your number one priority. And then if you have questions, you can reach out and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Julie. Appreciate that. Right at 5. Good job, girl. Woo!
I try.
Again, if you do have any questions for Julie or any of the coaches coming up, just put it in the comments box, either if you're watching YouTube or Facebook. And if we can get to them later, we will definitely get to them. So thank you, Julie. All right, so next up from Maryland, Yasmin Vieira. Yes. Can you hear me? You are on mute. You're on mute.
I am muted. Okay.
There we go. Awesome.
Hi, everyone.
Well, we have Yaz here from the University of Maryland. I'm super excited to hear about that program. If you want to get your screen ready, we will learn about the University of Maryland, the school, and their cheerleading program.
Yeah, I'm very excited to be here. Thank you so much, Steve, for setting this up.
Not a problem. This is going to be great. This is going to be awesome information. I know a lot of students weren't able to go to clinics, weren't able to do campus tours. There's a lot of things that people weren't able to do. And so we are happy to give that information for you. And I think you are.
Am I all set up here? Ooh, let's try that again.
Now you're good to go.
Great. Okay, so like Steve mentioned, my name is Yasmin Vieira. I am the head coach of University of Maryland and have been coaching here for about 14 years. Sorry, I'm a little bit not as technology savvy as I think I could be. Do you guys see this screen?
Yep, I can see it fine.
Okay, yep. There we go.
Technology. There we go. I think also maybe if you click the arrow on your
yeah. Okay. Good. So this is just a little bit of information, background on our school. We are a public university. As you guys can see, we were founded in 1856. I threw on here our total undergraduate enrollment. We are a pretty large school. And as you can see, our last class was a little bit over 30,000 there, the incoming undergraduate enrollment. And then in terms of kind of admission into our school, this is a question that I get a lot, so I wanted to throw this on here. We, like I said, are a public institution. However, it is very difficult and it becomes increasingly more academically challenging to get into our school as the years kind of progress. And so just keep that in mind that we're highly competitive. I always tell everyone to try to get your applications in by that kind of early admission deadline in November, just to give you the best opportunity. We have an acceptance rate of about 47%, and the last admitted freshman class, the average GPA was a 4.11 on a 4.0 scale. So just kind of wanted to put that out there. I do have some recruiting that I do throughout the year, and those individuals are flagged for admissions. However, I keep my numbers very low, and so it's really, really important that if Maryland is one of your choices, that you really also work and focus on your academics, in addition to obviously improving your cheer skills. This is, I'm sure Steve is probably Steve, are you sharing these? Because I don't want to go too much into the actual background information of the school, but I wanted to just stick it on here for folks to see.
Yep, it's on full screen mode, so whatever you see, they see.
Okay, great. So this is, again, just some background on our school. We are ranked 63 nationally among public universities, and I threw a couple of other things on here. We're a very diverse university, so that's something that we take a lot of pride in, and if it's something that's important to you, I mean, definitely would be a consideration in coming to Maryland. In terms of our program, we cheer for football, men's and women's basketball, women's volleyball, and then we do some Olympic sports events throughout the years and several appearances. We are an all-girl only program, and that has been that way for the last couple years. However, it's not always the case. I've had co-ed teams in the past, and it really just depends on what the interest is that I get. So if I only have one or two men that are interested in trying out, then for that particular year, I will likely not have a co-ed. But if we have a lot of interest, that's something that we kind of consider at the beginning of the year once we're doing spring auditions. We are a game day and a competitive team. We compete at the NCAA College Nationals in Daytona Beach. I think we might be one of the only ones here that do, but we do that in the all-girl Division 1A. This is a little bit on my organization structure. Like Julie mentioned, my entire staff went to Maryland and cheered at Maryland. I have an associate head coach who also oversees our mascot operations, which is under my program as well. I have a head assistant coach, and then I have 2 assistant coaches as well. We also have several alumni and volunteer coaches that come throughout the year, and I see them at the same level as I do with any of my other staff. I take up to about 40 members, so it is a little bit competitive to make our team. That is just in line with what I can carry with my operating budget. And so I usually do not pass that number. There's always exceptions. So if it's a year where we're going to have a few more people that are highly skilled, and I definitely don't want to turn them away. I may take a little bit more, but we really try to kind of cut it off right there at the max. For basketball season, the way that we work, we are a big basketball program. And so it's for our men's basketball, only 3rd and 4th year cheerleaders are able to cheer for men's basketball. 1st and 2nd year cheerleaders do women's basketball. And then there are some exceptions as it relates to kind of incoming and transfer students. And that's just done on a case-by-case basis. I also select a travel team. This is just 8 athletes that are selected at the beginning of the year. Those 8 athletes are the only ones that travel for football. And then they have priority to travel for basketball, whether it's men's or women's. And then I do add a few other cheerleaders at the time that we get to postseason basketball travel. In general, we live under athletics. All athletes at Maryland, coaches can require up to 20 hours per week from them. We don't really pass 10 to 15 hours, and that includes games, practice, events, fundraisers, etc. Let's see, some additional information here. You must maintain a 2.3 GPA for our program, and then also be full-time, which is 12 credits. There are some exceptions for graduating seniors. We also have an academic support counselor, and so all incoming freshmen are required, just like all other athletes at Maryland, to participate in academic support activities for their first year. Those are individualized plans that are kind of set up by our counselor at the beginning of the year. Some other kind of important things, we're an Under Armour school, so everything that you get from us is going to be Under Armour. And we do have small scholarships available. There are very select few individuals that receive this. It's really based on seniority and then, overall talent, skill, attitude, commitment to the team. And these are awarded on a semester by semester basis. However, there are times where I'll just let someone know at the beginning of the year what they're going to get for the entire year. But again, those are on a case by case basis. I think that's kind of all of the information that I really wrote down here, and it's kind of just everything in a nutshell. Always, if you want more information, I put our website on here, and then you can always email us. There's an email that goes directly to our Terps cheer at umd.edu, but I'm happy to take any other questions that anyone has.
Thank you, Yaz. Appreciate it. Again, if you have any questions for Yaz and University of Maryland, again, or for any of our coaches, in the comments box through YouTube or Facebook, feel free to type them in, put them in, and we will get to them later. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to our next school, which is the University of Michigan and Pam St. John. Pam.
Hi, Steve. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. Are you ready to present on the University of Michigan?
I am. Is my PowerPoint up and going there?
It is up and going. You are good to go.
All right. Great. Thanks, everybody, for stopping in. Want to start by talking about the University of Michigan, because that is why people come here to school. 50% of our cheer athletes go on to graduate school the first year. After they graduate, that bumps up to about 65% after the first year. We are the #3 national undergraduate public university, and #1 as ranked by QS World University Rankings. It's a great place to live, great place to go to school. The 2019 entering class had a GPA of 3.9, and I've included all of the ACT, SAT guidelines as what that class had when they came in. Some fun facts about the University of Michigan. We have 102 programs in the top 10 graduate programs in the United States, 19 schools and colleges, 275 degree programs. It's a great place to go to school. 92% of our students will graduate within 6 years at Michigan. We are the #1 public research university in the United States. I'm going to talk a little bit about our team now and about our program. Each year, our team gets together and we define what our team core values are, and this defines our culture. For our last year, communication, growth mindset, inclusivity, and physical and mental health and passion were our team values. Be glad to talk about those one-on-one with people. It is a great culture, but I don't have time to delve into that at this point in time. We do evaluations. Some people call them tryouts, but I call them evaluations because we do not have a mass tryout. We do private and small group evaluations only. I've listed some of the skill sets that we are looking for on this page. We do evaluations 2 times throughout the year, usually in April and September. We do not do video tryouts. And again, I have included a link there so that you can look on our tryout page and get more specific information. Our team goes from 12 to 15 hours per week on CARA hours. Those are countable, athletically related activity hours. We have 4 practices a week, varying from 90 minutes to 2 hours, and then 2 strength and conditioning sessions in addition to that. We cheer for football, men and women's basketball, women's volleyball, and wrestling. And occasionally we get asked to do some of the other sports. Some of the resources that are gifted to cheer student athletes. Each semester, you'll get almost up to $500 a semester in book money, free Nike gear. We have a academic center that is only for student athletes. We have specific exam review sessions and tutors that are available only to student athletes. We have a team dietitian. We have our own equipment manager who launders and stores all of our practice gear and game uniforms. We love that because it's time that isn't invested in just doing laundry or uniform repairs. We have an athletics career center that is only for student athletes. You will earn a varsity letter at Michigan, just like football, basketball, etc. We have our own Olympic strength training coach. We have specifically trainers that are assigned to us, athletic trainers, and we have an assigned mental health counselor for our team. All of our athletes get grab and go breakfast daily, and we have refueling stations for pre and post team practices. We also have a specific Michigan leadership development program and a athletics career center that is a 4-year program that prepares student athletes to get a job or go to graduate school, depending upon their career goals. Some fun facts about specifically the cheer team. We are one of 31 varsity teams at Michigan. We are a part of 900-member Michigan student athlete family. We have 44 team members. Half of them are men, half are the women. We compete at NCAA in April, and we've done pretty well there. I've listed our performance over the last 10 years. One of the things that I'm very proud of is we have a real emphasis on service to others. There's a competition within our athletic department, and cheer is usually first or second. 99% of our cheer team members graduate within 5 years of entering. There are no out-of-pocket costs for being on the team, and we are fully funded and under the governance of Michigan Athletics. And that is our team. Sorry if I spoke real quickly, but I put a lot of information in there and some links that people can get more information from. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Pam. Appreciate the information. And again, if you have any questions for Pam, put them in the comments box via YouTube or Facebook. And at the end of our broadcast, or at the very end, we will do a Q&A I already saw some great questions being brought up. So again, I will bring these coaches back if there's any specific questions. And again, if you have any questions about University of Michigan or the cheer program, Pam will be happy to answer those. Thanks, Pam.
You're welcome.
All right, we are almost halfway through. So once again, just a reminder that we are going to be doing a follow-up meet and greet with the Big Ten East coaches via Zoom in 2 weeks, Tuesday, June 16th, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern. You can register through a Google Doc that we have created. It's also in the comments section of whatever you're watching. So if you're watching on YouTube or if you're watching on Facebook, just look through the comments. One of the very first comments that was put out there is this link. Just copy, paste it into a link, and please register. Please let us know which schools you're interested in. And then actually the following week after that, we will be having the Big Ten West coaches Zoom. So again, register for both if you would like. If you were just interested in the Big Ten overall, we are happy to meet you guys. Parents are welcome. Anybody who may be interested in the schools or the programs of the Big Ten, we are happy to meet you guys. All right, we are going to keep moving on here. Next up, we have the Spartans of Michigan State. And Elise, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I am great. Are you ready to talk about Michigan State and your cheerleading program?
I think so, as long as I can make sure that screen sharing works.
You are, yep, just click present, and you are good to go.
All right, let me get that situated. All right, perfect.
You are good to go.
All right, well, welcome, Michigan State University. So you just heard from our counterpart, or our rivals, as we call it, University of Michigan. So Michigan State University, we're going to go ahead and give you a little bit of information regarding the school. So I agree with Julie from Indiana. Pick your school and let cheer be the bonus that adds to your college year experience. So Michigan State, you can read through these, but I think some of the big things is we are a pretty large campus. We are a land grant, 5,300 acre campus. I still, 11 years later, am finding different parts of our campus I didn't know existed. 563 buildings. Don't worry, we don't make you walk to all of them. And nearly 20,000 acres throughout Michigan that we use for agricultural and natural resource research. So that's a little bit on that. Just for some numbers of who comes to Michigan State. Total, as of fall of 2019, almost 50,000, 82 counties in Michigan, all 50 states, and over 130 different countries. 39 of those are undergraduate. You can see the breakdown of men and women, students of color, international students. So we're a pretty diverse student population here at Michigan State. Our faculty, student support staff, and then also almost 500,000 worldwide living alumni, which is exciting. So anytime you see a Spartan logo around the world, you can yell "Go Green," and most likely you'll get a "Go White" back. So this is a little bit about our team. We are housed under athletics, which is pretty awesome. The student athletes on our team receive a multitude of opportunities or resources or privileges, whatever works for you. We do earn varsity letters. So we are considered a varsity sport here at Michigan State University. We are provided strength and conditioning training. That is through our weight room and our strength and conditioning coaches. We have our athletic training for preventative and post-injury rehabilitation. We have access to a nutrition bar. This is available before and after practice. As student athletes do run around from class to practice to study halls, we help get that a little bit of nutrition as you're running around. You have options to utilize study rooms here. Our team personally with cheer and dance has a Spirit Squad lounge. It has couches and bean bags and snacks provided in there for you to take a break in between practices and class also. We are a Nike school, so all of our gear is Nike. It is a large amount, which we are very privileged to be able to have, and we utilize it every single day. We have 2 football tickets per athlete that's given, so your parents, friends, and family are able to come to the games. Parking pass assistance, which means you're able to get a parking pass to be able to park right in front of our practice facility, which can be difficult for other buildings on campus. Priority registering, so you're able to register for classes prior to the rest of that 50,000 person population to make sure that we're able to accommodate practice and game schedules. There are earned travel opportunities, so our upperclassmen that do outside events, whether that's community service, parade appearances, birthday parties, whatever is asked of us, you earn points and are able to travel to away football games and postseason opportunities. And then also we compete nationally at UCA in Florida. As you can see, there is an asterisk for 3 of these items, as our current scenario is a little different for our upcoming season. So I'm not quite sure if those are guaranteed, but I can guarantee they will come back in the seasons to come. Our team specifically is made up of 22 to 26 males and 18 to 22 females. Our males do not have to have cheer experience. They just need to have passion for athletics and the potential to learn all of our band chants and the skills needed. Our females typically have cheerleading background, gymnastics background, something in that sort. All females are required to fly, as we are co-ed only. We do have some ladies that based in high school or at All-Star that were able to transition to a flyer, so it isn't required that you have always been a flyer. Our team cheers at volleyball, football, men's and women's basketball, and then we also help out at hockey, gymnastics, track and field, cross country, and field hockey, whether that's cheering or helping work the event to support our peer student athletes. And I went probably very quick, but I had a little video. This is inside of our Breslin Center for our women's games, and a couple of our first year members. And then, our team, as you can see, is quite large, as we only have one, and we work very closely with our dance team. So we consider ourselves the Michigan State Spirit Squads, as I am the head coach for both cheer and dance, which is unique, I believe, for Michigan State. And I think that's all I have. Not that we don't have more to talk about, but I want to give time for everybody else.
Well, thank you, Elise. I really appreciate your time and a great presentation about Michigan State University. And again, if you have any questions for Coach Elise, put them in the comments box. We are happy to get back to questions here at the end of the show, and she'll be happy to answer those. So thank you, Elise.
Perfect.
All right, let's move on. We have, I believe, if we're going alphabetical, it is, where are they? I'm looking for them. Is it Ohio State? It's Ohio State, right? I think it's Ohio State. Yeah, it's Ohio State. Okay. Ben Schreiber, how are you, buddy?
Good, buddy, but it's the Ohio State University.
I knew you were going to say that.
Come on now. How you doing today, man? This is a great opportunity for for all these coaches in the East to kind of share some quick facts about their program. So appreciate you setting this up for everybody.
Hey, nothing but Big Ten love, man. I think that's what makes our conference so unique is just we do help each other and support each other a ton. So I'm happy to do that, but I just think this is great. I'm learning a lot about everybody's programs too, which is great because I think that being able to know what other programs can offer, I think helps everybody's program and possibly, you know, things that we could get in the future.
Definitely. So
are you ready to share about The Ohio State?
Yes. Are you able to see that on my screen?
Yep, you are full screen, my friend.
All right, perfect. Well, everyone that is watching across the world on YouTube and Facebook, my name is Ben Schreiber, and I'm the head cheerleading coach at The Ohio State University. I'm glad to spend a few minutes today to just share a few facts about our program. You know, we are a large co-ed team, very similar to Michigan State and some of the other teams that have already shared. We do not have an all-girl team that is affiliated with our program. So we do get that question probably asked more than anything, and just wanted to kind of, you know, first go ahead and state that information. So here's some kind of quick facts about our program. I would be happy to also email this information and some more detailed information to anyone that is requesting, and you'll be able to kind of get that information later on when we talk about the Zoom meeting that we're going to be setting up. So our program consists of 15 to 18 males and females. So any year that number will range just a little bit. As I previously mentioned, all of our females are flyers. We do not all girl stunt. We do not group stunt in any capacity. We are very unique that we do not have a tryout process for selecting our team. We select our team completely through recruitment. We just finished our second year of selecting our team this way. It puts us in alignment with other varsity teams, you know, at different colleges and universities across the country, and we are considered a varsity sport at The Ohio State University. So, you know, just like Pam at our rival school, Michigan, which it's even hard to say that, but we also have the opportunity to earn a varsity letter. There are a ton of perks that you know, the team members get. So, you know, some of the benefits, and I'll just kind of shoot over to the right side, is, you know, every student now, it used to just be student athletes, all students at Ohio State receive an iPad. We have 2 strength and conditioning coaches, one for our men, one for our females. And they also are our strength coaches for our basketball programs at Ohio State. So we have some very, very talented and knowledgeable strength and conditioning coaches that are using a lot of cutting edge training and principles to kind of really help our athletes be in their peak physical condition and to excel and perform at the highest level. As other teams mentioned, we have very knowledgeable medical staff support, very exciting program that kind of continues to evolve as it relates to academics. It's called our SASO department. We have a sports nutritionist that is just designated for our team, which is very exciting. So our team members can kind of reach out and ask any kind of unique questions that are going to help them, again, perform at the highest level. Also, one thing that Ohio State and our athletic department really prides itself on is our sports psychology department. I have, I think, 5 full-time sports psychologists just designated for the student athletes. So I believe we are one of the top programs in the nation. And we utilize these sports psychologists for so many different things throughout the year. One-on-one appointments can be set up, and we also have them speak to our team usually 2 times a month on just different mindset principles to kind of help them, you know, cope with college life, all the different stresses in the world, and then also to perform at the highest ability possible. Other quick things, you know, free tutoring for student athletes, including our team, priority scheduling. We are one of the biggest universities in the country with over 60,000 students total. So priority scheduling definitely helps with being able to schedule classes around our strength conditioning sessions as well as practices. We travel to away football games. We do have athletic scholarships for our team members. So those range in different amounts. Some of our top members can earn up to 70% right now of in-state tuition We also are a Nike school and have a very lucrative contract with Nike that really provides all of our needs are met and above that. So we are definitely taken care of. And then also we have what we call the fuel zone at Ohio State. So there's different stations on campus where student athletes are able to, kind of get things to refuel after practice, get some even snacks and some, supplementation to kind of use before practice as well. Quickly talk about game day. We cheer for men's and women's basketball, football, and also women's volleyball. The Shoe is our football stadium, Ohio Stadium, seats over 108,000. And our basketball arena, the Schottenstein Center, seats over 17,000. So we have some great fans, part of Buckeye Nation. Real quick, I'll just jump a typical practice schedule. We practice 4 days a week, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. In the fall, we compete at UCA College Nationals, so that really takes up a lot of our winter in Division 1A large co-ed. And we then slow our season down a little bit in the spring semester and practice a little bit less and have some more open gyms. So I'll be happy to talk about anything else in the questions that you guys might have and even dive a little bit more into our selection process. So thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate it, man. Lots of great information. Again, if you have any questions for Ben about The Ohio State University, its school, its program, its cheer program, and again, what makes Ohio State different is the 100% recruitment-based tryout, quote unquote, only. So again, if you have any questions for Ben, we'll get to those at the end of the show. Thanks, bud.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to Penn State University.
Hey, Steve. Good. Thanks for having us. This is really cool.
You are very welcome. Thanks for coming in and getting ready to talk about Penn State. So if you want our presentation ready,
sure,
I'll pop it up when you're ready and we'll get going.
Okay. All right. Can you all see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome to Penn State. We are right in the heart of Pennsylvania. So it's also called Happy Valley. University Park, I think it's probably the most quintessential town, college town in the country, but I know everybody's probably saying about theirs, but ours is pretty great here in Central PA. Our Spirit teams consist of 2 squads, a large co-ed and an all-girl squad. We have 13 couples on the co-ed team, and we have a 20-member all-girl squad. We also this year decided to have an additional all-girl team to just work cheer for men's ice hockey and to also cheer for some women's volleyball games. So we have additional females. They cheer all varsity sports, including football, including women's volleyball, men's and women's basketball. They also cheer men's ice hockey and, some other additional sports if need be. Wrestling's pretty great to cheer, some soccer, lacrosse games, whatnot. We also get invited to cheer at certain events and have some great experiences. We have the Penn State Dance Marathon, and we also get to travel to away games and to some large tournaments. Okay, so there's a little bit more information. At Penn State, we are game day. Unlike a lot of the other programs around, we have something called a whiteout. I don't know if anybody else has heard of it, but it's pretty intense. It's 110,000 plus screaming fans in wearing white. It's a night game. It's a nationally televised game. There's lots of fireworks and excitement and buildup. It's just a great experience, probably one of the best experiences as a Penn State student. And, Penn State cheerleaders get front row experience. So you get 4 of them when you cheer at Penn State, and they are worth every moment. Our coaching staff, we have 3 members of our coaching staff. Our head coach and spirit coordinator is Curtis White. He also helps guide the Lionettes dance team. And he is the head coach for the cheerleading teams. We have Eugene Bowden, who is an assistant coach, and myself. And we have all cheered at Penn State and have all graduated here from Penn State. So we bleed the blue and white. For clinics, we host a couple clinics to prepare athletes and potential candidates for tryouts. they're usually in the spring and in the summer and some of the fall, but some of them have been changed. But we're going to do what we can to try to get those made up. We tryouts, we have a very traditional tryout. We still have the 3-day tryout where we test you on some of the fight songs, the standing and running, tumbling, the stunting, the cheers, and there is an interview process. The team selection is announced in mid-April. So our practices, we have summer practices during State College Arts Fest, which is a great weekend here in State College, but unfortunately it was postponed this year. So, but hoping maybe we can jump back in July, we're back in and we get to meet some of our new members. We also have pre-camp and UCA College Camp in August. Fall and spring practices, we do have them 4 days a week. We try to lighten it up in the spring, but gearing up towards nationals, we are practicing a little bit more in the fall. We do practice and have games and events and etc. over holiday breaks, tournaments over spring break. Some of the great benefits of becoming a Penn State cheerleader is we do have the preferred scheduling. So if you don't want to get up at those 8 a.m. classes, don't schedule them. We have something that's called the Morgan Academic Center, and this is a place where it's only for athletes at Penn State, and they can get access to the tutors. They have study halls. A great thing is they have printing, so they have free printing for the month. So it's just a great other advantage of being a Penn State cheerleader. We do offer academic scholarships. We do get the Nike apparel and equipment. So mamas and papas, you don't have to pay for all your stuff anymore. We have varsity uniforms. Also, we have the largest alumni association in the world, and that's 700,000. And you're given that opportunity to meet all those alumni. So, when you graduate, hopefully you're still successful in, your career-wise and not just in the cheerleading. So, and Steve, I think that is it for me.
Well, thank you very much, Jessica. That was great information on Penn State. And again, if you have any questions for Jessica specifically about Penn State University, the school, and or the cheer program, feel free to put them in the comments and we will get to those later in the show. Thank you, Jessica.
Thanks, Steve.
All right, our final team alphabetically in the Big Ten East is Rutgers with Coach Mike Martinez. Mike, how are you?
I'm doing well, Steve. How about yourself?
Doing great, man. Great. Are you ready to present about Rutgers University?
Well, our run through before we started went well, so obviously we're going to have some problems getting this going now. But aside from that, I am ready to talk.
All right, sounds great. I'll pull this up here, and you are full screen, ready to go, my friend.
Perfect. Well, as Steve said, my name is Mike Martinez. I am a cheer coach here at Rutgers University. First, I just want to say thank you to Steve for organizing this and for everyone in the Big Ten East for sharing their amazing stories and information about their universities. The Big Ten is a one-of-a-kind conference, and as Rutgers is one of the newest members of it, we are proud to be part of this excellent academic organization as well as athletic conference. I'm going to primarily focus on our university. I will talk about our cheer team as well because that's obviously the reason that we're here, but I have some important quick facts here about Rutgers laid out in front of me. We are the 8th oldest university in the country. We're founded in 1766, excuse me. And there's a number of different statistics you see about our university here listed as well, including that we are a top 25 public university in the nation. We pride ourselves at Rutgers on being an excellent representation of the city in whose shadow we are cast, New York City, as well as the state for which we are the state university. New Jersey. We are very diverse. We have one of the most diverse programs, diverse universities as far as constituency, meaning the different people that come to our university, as well as our programs within the university. You can see here that, that we have over 150 undergraduate majors and over 400 graduate programs. And we are lucky enough to have quite a diverse group within our cheer and spirit program as well, featuring some grad students and some students that are on the undergraduate and graduate school combination path in both pharmacy and education. Here you can see some interesting facts about our graduates that come through Rutgers and go on to do things in the real world. As most of the coaches here have said today, cheerleading should be important to you. We care about it. It is our life. It is our passion. When you select university, you need to select the university in its entirety. And that includes making some big, important life decisions. Meaning, what are you going to do after you graduate? Well, if you come to Rutgers, you can see here that we have a number of great opportunities for you to go into the professional field. Whether you go through technology, education, engineering, science, or any of the many undergraduate programs we have, the opportunities are limitless, as we are just 45 minutes from New York City, less than 1 hour from Philadelphia, and just a short ride away from Baltimore and DC as well, and Boston. So there are limitless options for internships, externships, and career paths should you decide to come to Rutgers. One of the things that Rutgers is most famous for is our research. You can see here that we were on the news recently through our research department for a coronavirus saliva test. Something that has obviously ravaged the nation has been this COVID-19 outbreak. And we are very proud at Rutgers to be somewhat of a helping hand in helping to move us forward, mitigate this crisis, and get us back to life at normal. Speaking of life as normal, I'm going to talk about our Rutgers cheer program under normal circumstances. With the wrench being thrown into our society and our lives that is coronavirus, it is difficult for me to discuss what we're going to do moving forward in the immediacy, as there's so much uncertainty. However, in our normal season, you can see some interesting facts about how we run our program here. Like The Ohio State University, we do a full recruitment program, meaning that we do not have an official tryout. We utilize our clinics, video submissions, and attending competitions as coaches as a way for us to recruit athletes. Our Scarlet team this year, which is our co-ed team, they have competed in the past at D1A, in the D1A division, at UCA College Nationals down in Disney. We have 15 to 20 men and 12 to 15 women on this team. We cheer for all football home games and men and women's basketball games. As far as football is concerned, we do send 4 couples away to football games, and that's only our Scarlet team that does that. There's some more information that you can see listed here as well. Our Knights team, which is our all-female team that does group stunting, consists of 24 to 28 females. They go to all home football games, and they also cheer at men's and women's basketball games. You can see here that for postseason, they do for women's basketball. They have competed in the past, the D1A division for all girl at UCA. We are an Adidas school, and we're in the athletic department. Just a couple quick facts about our university program here. We practice 3 times a week in the fall, and we ramp that up as we get ready for nationals down in Disney in January. In the spring, we do continue to practice, but it is much less of a commitment. We have 2 full-time administrators that work with our program throughout the year. We have access to athletic trainers, to strength and conditioning coaches, and to all the medical facilities that all of the athletes share. At the RAC, which is our Rutgers Athletic Center, you can refuel upstairs throughout the day, every day, as a student athlete. And we have a really, really good alumni association with our program. We're very proud of our alumni association, and Rutgers alumni in general span across all 50 states, over 130 countries, and on all 6 continents. So no matter where you go, you can always feel your Scarlet pride as you move through your day. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for us. As I mentioned, I discussed everything on a normal basis. Obviously, with everything that's going on with coronavirus, it's going to be a little bit different for us this year, but we're super excited to get back into the swing of things and normalcy. And I look forward to answering any questions any of you may have about our program, and most importantly, about our university. Lastly, I just want to thank Steve again for allowing me the time to present some information about the Rutgers Spirit program. Thank you, Steve.
Mike, thank you, man. No, you're welcome. This is great. Again, if you have any questions for Mike in regards to Rutgers, its cheer program, or anything overall, or for anything, a general question for all the coaches, we are about to start our Q&A session here with everybody. So thank you, Mike. All right, so again, real quick, before we get into Q&A, if you have any questions that you have for any of the coaches, or just overall general questions that maybe a couple coaches can talk about, again, real quick, send them in now. Put them in the comments box of the YouTube or the Facebook channel that you are watching right now. Send them in and we will talk about them. Some great questions have already come up. But again, a reminder, if you are interested in meeting, quote unquote, meeting the Big Ten East coaches, are you interested in a Big Ten East school? Again, we will be in 2 weeks. We'll be having a private meet and greet on Zoom in 2 weeks, Tuesday, June 16th at 3 p.m. Eastern. There's a Google form right there if you want to type that in. Also, I put in the comments, again, in the comments on YouTube or Facebook, you have that link. So just copy and paste it. and register. If you are interested in any of the Big Ten West schools, let us know that also. We can register you for both. So again, we will be doing a Big Ten East follow-up Zoom meet and greet in 2 weeks on June 16th. Next week, Tuesday at 3 o'clock, we'll be having the Big Ten West coaches chat. And then the week after this one, we'll be having the Big Ten West Zoom meet and greet. So again, keep it a little bit more personal, keep groups a little bit smaller, and geographically kind of getting schools that are close to each other, and to be able to talk to athletes from around the country that may be interested in a Big Ten school. And it looks like we do have some great questions. So let's look up some of these questions. All right. A general question. So I'm just going to bring in a couple of people here. Let's bring in Julie. Let's bring in Elise. And let's bring in Mike Martinez. How about that? All right. As Mike said, in a normal year, no COVID, no nothing, when generally are your guys' tryouts? Let's start with Julie first.
In a normal year, we will always have our selection process in April. We tend to have to, at Indiana, we have to pick the one April weekend that is not Easter, it's not the men's Final Four, and it's not the Little 500 activities that we have in the spring.
Elise.
Yeah, so we actually do a first round video tryout, which we ask the videos to be turned in by March 15th. And then we would typically try to do our in-person tryouts the first couple weeks in May. For our current students, that weekend right after exams. It does conflict sometimes with high school, but I'm pretty flexible with any conflicts. So.
And Mike.
As I mentioned earlier, we've actually moved away from the traditional tryout process at Rutgers, similar to what Ohio State does, or the Ohio State, excuse me, Ben. We do a recruitment process. Our recruitment goes year round. We start with our typical summer clinic. We usually have a college prep clinic as early as mid-July, and then we follow up with a fall clinic in the September, October area, and then we move into our winter clinic around February. We start accepting videos all throughout the year. I've already taken in videos. I've had videos sent to me rather for the 2021 season. There's not much that we can do with anything right now, as you know, we're focusing on getting our team built for the 2020-2021 season. But we're always interested in the opportunity to get to know athletes that have interest in our program moving forward.
Awesome. And let's bring in the rest of the coaches to talk about their tryout process and dates. So let's bring in Pam from Michigan. Let's bring in Jess. And here we go. All right, ladies, talk about each of your schools, and under a normal year, what are your tryout dates and tryout process usually?
Okay, ours are the last weekend in March, and then we usually will announce it after our blue-white weekend, which is usually mid-April. So it's a couple weeks there that those are very nerve-wracking for the potential candidates, but we do.
Pam, St. John?
We do not do a mass tryout. So we take people throughout the year. However, there are a couple of dates that we kind of note that we try to keep those evaluations around, and that would be mid to late April, and then September after classes start.
All right, and actually, for Yaz, I know that we have a specific question for you. For Maryland, you mentioned that you do recruit a small number of athletes each year. How do you go about selecting those athletes? And then what does your tryout process look like?
Yeah, so we have, the best way to do it is, I mentioned our Terps Cheer email. So it's terpscheer@umd.edu. We get video submissions, resumes, et cetera, throughout the year. We do gym visits. So we'll travel to some gyms. Usually they're kind of locally. We'll go over to a couple of the neighboring states as well. So those girls are identified that way. So if you're interested in kind of being scouted, recruited, the best way is to reach out to me first via email, and then you'll just get on kind of our radar. From there, you're invited to attend our recruit weekend. And then from there, we kind of talk a little bit more. You stay kind of with us and do practice. go to a game, etc. And so that's kind of the whole process really in a nutshell. But to get more specific information, the best thing is to email me. And then in general, the girls that are not identified that way, we have an audition in April. That's a live audition in front of a panel.
Well, thank you very much. Great. And I promise, Ben, I have not been ignoring you because there was actually a specific question for you. So let's bring in Ben Schreiber here. And let me pull him up real quick. There we go, Ben. All right. This was from Julia. Yep. What is your recruiting process like? And then on top of that, from Cassie was, how do you select your competitive team? So back to back, kind of number one, how does somebody get recruited by you for Ohio State? And the next question is, how do you go about selecting your large co-ed nationals team?
Yeah, great question. So first with our recruitment, the first thing that we have is on our website, just Google Ohio State Buckeyes. The actual website is ohiostatebuckeyes.com. And search for Spirit Program and then find the cheerleading page from there. We have a recruit questionnaire that we want everyone to fill out. Ask for your demographic information, some social media information, and then also a place for you to upload or at least send a skills video. We prefer just kind of an unlisted YouTube link. It has some details of some things that we're looking for on there. So that's kind of the first step. In a normal year, we have a lot of camps and clinics throughout the year, and they're a great opportunity to come see the campus, come meet the coaches in person, meet the team members, obviously train with the team in co-ed partner stunning, tumbling. Then we also have a game day class in part of our clinics, just to kind of make sure that people are understanding what kind of the demands of game day are like. So it gives an opportunity to learn some things, but then also kind of get yourself known a little bit. We also, me and my assistant coach, Siobhan St. John, also do travel to recruit a little bit. We've gone to different gyms in high schools. We'll go to several large competitions. I typically will go to UCA High School Nationals every year in February. And then some different combine events throughout the country. So that recruit questionnaire is probably the first thing that I really would recommend everyone to do. As far as the second question, how do we select our nationals team? And that is an ongoing process. From when we have our first in-person practice through probably early October is we're constantly evaluating what who the best people will be to meet the needs of what we're trying to do for a routine, who is kind of interacting well with each other, who's working well, who has the versatility that we're looking for, things like that. So we don't have a separate tryout or anything like that. It's just kind of an ongoing process. In my opinion, it's the same way that another coach would pick who their starters are going to be for their season.
Thank you, Ben. I appreciate that, man. And actually, I'm going to bring in Mike now because this is a great question. When sending interest videos, so both Ohio State and Rutgers, you start with your interest videos. You're asking for those, for example, Ohio State. But how do you feel about a cheerleader wearing different colors or maybe a different shirt from a different school, from a different clinic? But the reason being is just lack of access to a gym right now. They can't get into a gym. Some states are more strict than others right now. So, they're not allowing any types of physical contact between people inside of gyms and things like that. Any suggestions on a person in that situation where if they have videos ready and they have skills to show, but maybe they're wearing a Michigan shirt or maybe they're wearing a Penn State shirt, so that's the question from Maddie. I'll let Mike start first.
Well, thanks, Steve. I have to say, aside from maybe a couple of snarky comments on my part, I really don't have an issue with it. We understand that, especially being in the current circumstances, it's difficult to get anywhere, let alone into a cheer gym. So wherever you are, we appreciate the hard work. And we also understand that, even if Rutgers ends up being your final destination and your top choice, you may not live in an area where it's easily accessible to come to our clinics. And you may, for instance, live in a place that's closer to the Ohio State University where you're going to attend their clinic and get good feedback and work there. So we are appreciative of that nonetheless. In a perfect scenario, you wearing some scarlet isn't going to hurt anything, but it's not something that we're going to go crazy over.
Yeah, in a normal year, I would definitely not want to see other schools, represented for someone that is trying to send in kind of a highlight video for our program. But this current COVID situation is altering that. So right now it's really not going to be an issue. And in addition to that is, the first video that someone sends in, we're going to ask for more videos kind of throughout the process, and also meet these people in person. So especially with everything going on right now, it's not that big of a deal.
Well, thank you guys. Appreciate that. So next question, I'm going to bring in a couple of the ladies here. I'm going to bring in Elise and Yaz for this one. So let me pull up those ladies. Here we go. All right. This is a question in regards to the new program, new recommended emerging sports status sport called stunt. Have any of the programs who don't currently have a stunt team considering adding that to that program? Elise had mentioned that Michigan State does have a stunt program. It is a club team, however. It is not under athletics or under her. Yaz wanted to also talk about this. So ladies, I'll let you take it away, and we'll start with Elise.
All right. Yeah, so we have a very successful Michigan State University competitive cheer team, and they participate in stunt. They've made it to nationals multiple times. This group is not under athletics, so they are considered a registered student organization, which is under our club sports. So they don't receive the same resources that the athletic department provides to our team. Yet at the same time, they are very well established, have a coach that makes sure and manages everything, but that is a pay to play sport at this time.
For Maryland, we are currently in conversations with our sports supervisor about this, and it's really going to depend on whether it gets the vote or recognition that it needs from the NCAA. But that's something that we've been strongly considering over the last several years, and if it does, we are likely to pursue that in the next couple years.
All right, good to know. Thank you, ladies. All right, let's bring in Penn State for the next couple of questions here. All right, Jess, how are you?
I'm good.
Okay, first of all, first one. We are.
Yeah, that's my twin sister.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That is
I have
awesome.
an identical twin. Lives in, which is really fun. So she lives in Buckeye County. So yeah, she's where we go to stay for those games. But yeah, that's my sister.
Very cool. And then we do have a specific question for you. What skills do you look for tumbling wise at tryouts?
Okay. Yeah, we evaluate both on standing tumbling and running tumbling. We don't require standing tumbling, but I will let you know that every athlete has a standing back tuck. This year during our virtual tryouts where we did videos, we had all the potential candidates do 10 standing back tucks in a row just so that we can see consistency. And then running tumbling, well, back to standing tumbling too. If they have elite tumbling classes like hand full, hand, whip full, something like that, we will obviously get bonus points for those. And then running tumbling, we just like to see a round of pec handspring back tuck, but a lot of the kids have fulls at this point, so it seems kind of the high caliber of the athletics and cheerleading has gone way up. So we have almost everybody on our all-girls squad with a full. And almost everybody on our co-ed with a full, and at least 10 standing tucks in a row for sure.
All right. Actually, I have a couple more questions. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. When will your next clinic? Now, obviously, we're assuming we can have clinics. Obviously, if things are in the air, but traditionally, when are your clinics or camps held for people looking to check out Penn State?
Yeah, we have one in early June, but it was postponed. So we're just kind of waiting to get the go from the university. So it's really hard to say because, we have to make sure we have gym space and athletic trainers and whatnot. So if everything goes smoothly, we should know by mid-June if we're opening up in the fall, and then we can, host those clinics closer to November, just because football season's a little kind of chaotic for us. So it would be November would be the first earliest one, and then we'll do another one in February.
Actually, a couple more questions for Penn State. Penn State's
hey, we're popular today.
Absolutely. You went over this, but maybe Alexa missed your presentation. Does the all-girl team at Penn State compete?
They sure do. So we compete in the D1A all girl, and I believe we'll be competing in game day as well with our co-ed. So they'll be competing twice in UCA College Nationals.
And your boss, Curtis, is on here. He just wanted to let everybody know. Students,
yeah. Hey, Kurt.
Be certain to attend our Zoom meeting. I want to talk about that real quick. You guys have a Zoom meeting for interested people?
I think we're planning on hosting a Zoom meeting of potential athletes, so that way as well, if they're interested, they can direct us, and it'll be something similar like what you guys are going to be doing as well.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Jess. Appreciate that. We're going to bring in Pam from Michigan. We have a question for Michigan. Pam, are you there?
I'm here.
Awesome. Also from Alexa, what tumbling requirements are there for the University of Michigan?
It depends. For the most part, our girls, the tumbling requirements are pretty high. Running, tumbling, round off. Probably the hardest thing would be round off, whip, back handspring, full. Obviously, standing spring to tuck, or standing spring, 2 springs to full. Those would be the hardest that we would expect anybody to come in with. But I say it depends, because we don't, even though we have an even number of men and women, not everybody has the same skill set. Because we compete NCA, we don't have just strictly co-ed stunt groups. We have some mixed groups. We have some all-girl groups. So it varies depending upon what your role may be. So definitely the requirements for men and women are different. However, it might be different between an elite flyer and a back spot. So, but those are everything, all of our wish list skills are listed on mgoblue.com. If you look for spirit and cheerleading on there, I also put the links in my PowerPoint presentation, so you can take a look at that.
Pam, thank you very much. We're going to do a roundtable real quick. This has been a consistent question overall, so let's start from the top here. Let's bring in Julie. Let's bring in Elise. Let's bring back Pam, and we'll bring in Mike. Here we go. This has been a question that's popped up a lot, so I'll just use Lauren's here as an example, which I think is a good question. If we are going to be a high school senior next year, when should we start contacting coaches and sending in videos? And then kind of a follow-up to that, which is the same thing from Kenna. Yes, a lot of our clinics have been canceled for the summer, some even for the fall. Honestly, we don't know if we're gonna be able to have clinics this upcoming year at all, depending on school and area. So what is some advice that for each coach I'm gonna ask, what is your advice in regards for incoming seniors and what they can do to still be recruited or to show interest in your program if they're not able to come to the clinic because there are no clinics? And we'll start with Julie.
As far as videos, in the past, we traditionally have never really required any type of a video, but videos are always welcome. I actually would encourage any athlete that is interested in Indiana at any time to send a video. I would send it to myself, and then I can help filter it to the other coaches, and then we would obviously take a look at that. So it's, in my opinion, it's never too soon. So the sooner you get your name out there and you show the interest, it's great. Then we can make sure that you are stayed up to date with our clinics. We are planning to have a clinic in September if all goes well. And I know that we're probably going to change part of our selection process where we may do a first part of it with a video. So this would definitely be the year to, I would say, to record as much skills as possible whenever you're in a gym anywhere, and to have that handy, because every single one of us in this conference found out that we needed those that have traditional spring selections. So to me, if anybody wants to email me at any time, anytime's a great time.
Elise.
Yeah, so I agree. I think sending videos via email or even Instagram, if you just want to tag us or send it directly through our messages, that's a good way also for us to look back on it. But I think reaching out sooner than later, and then hopefully we are able to do clinics so that if you're able to come or even show your interest, just by saying, I wish I could come, and is there anything I can do while I'm gone? I think all of us get so many emails that just getting your name out there so I can remember somebody's name as it comes through, as I hear from them year to year, that makes it easier when they start getting closer to that senior year and their tryout.
Pam.
I like to start hearing from high school students their freshman year. The reason for that is last year there were 67,000 applicants to the University of Michigan. The acceptance rate was 22%. So I need to have time to impress upon students how important your grades are. I don't have any influence in getting someone accepted to Michigan. They will be applying and competing against those 67,000 people that are going to apply to school in Ann Arbor. So it's important that we let people know with plenty of time that academics is first. So that's it.
And Mike.
Yeah, so I think I would first start with show your face early and often. That's great advice for whether you're applying for a cheer program or for a job interview later in life. Meaning that if you're a sophomore in high school and have any clue where you're looking to cheer in college, start getting that tape out there. Whether it's through a YouTube channel, you're DMing it to our Instagram, you're filling out the recruitment questionnaire when you do approach that senior year. For us, that's the easiest way to contact us. The more, the better. And the earlier, the better. The other thing I would say for incoming seniors, one of the best ways to get your name out to a college program and to show that you're truly interested is getting that application in early or on time. As Julie so aptly put at the beginning of this whole YouTube live, she said that you have to make sure you choose the university, and we like to see people that are interested in the university itself. So getting that application into the university and on time is something that's essential, as all of these schools can say for the Big Ten and the Big Ten East here specifically, we're very academically competitive. So it's important that you get your name in the ring early.
And before you go, I actually have another question regarding to Rutgers. It's from Mike Stickle. Stickle.
It's a familiar name.
Do you have tryouts?
I think I recognize that name from somewhere. I can't put my finger on it, but I do recognize that. It's an excellent question that he does ask. We do not have tryouts anymore. As I mentioned earlier, we've moved entirely to the recruitment process, and that means that we are solely using the recruitment process. It's not as though we have a recruitment process and then later on offer like a spring trial or anything like that. Given extenuating circumstances, we do reserve that right, but we are fully committed to the recruitment process. So we will not be doing tryouts for our cheer team in the future.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to bring in Ben and Jessica and Yaz, and they finish out, kind of also talk about their question there. So again, you know, with clinics being canceled, most clinics being canceled this summer, and the unknown if we can even have clinics go into this fall and winter, what is your suggestion for any incoming seniors that are interested in being recruited by you guys, interested in your program, but obviously maybe won't have the opportunity to actually come and work with you and meet with you? We'll start with that.
Really want to agree with what everyone else has said so far. You know, we're in some unique times, so kind of be proactive. Be that person that is contacting the coaches of schools you're interested in. I'd also encourage again, to first make sure you're doing some research, maybe on their social media pages or on their websites, to kind of find out some basic information on the programs. Continue to see when future clinics are going to be, if we're going to be able to have them, and when we're going to be able to have them. And as Julie, I believe, said, record everything that you possibly can. Even if it's tumbling in your backyard or any kind of partner studying that you can be doing, just to kind of have that footage. When it'll be needed.
Thank you. All right, Jessica.
Yeah, I think if and when we, get through this, and for us coaches and for our teams, we're going to hit the ground running, especially with football season, and we have a lot of catching up to do. So, I mean, maybe I'm saying this just for myself, maybe other coaches, but I think right now would be a great time to reach out to coaches. It's summer, we've all kind of been cooped up. We're been dealing with Zoom now. So if it's one of those things where I want to introduce myself or send an email with a video, I know I would be happy to share with how we did video tryouts and let you guys know what a tryout video, what we looked at with a current member, so you could see those skills, practice and hone in on them. Like preparing, just what Ben said, preparing yourself and videotaping as much as you can. So if you have to create a video, you have all those skills. And you would be shocked and surprised all the videos that we saw for tryouts this year, for virtual tryouts, were in everybody's backyard. So they're tumbling on, the grass. It's great because that's what we do at football games. So it was cool to see that.
And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I talked a little bit about this earlier when it came to our recruit weekend. For me, I'm going to agree with Pam. I think I really like to see people reach out at their freshman and sophomore years, just because at that point, we can really work with them on like where they are academically as well. But if you're a senior, and you are just getting to that point now, I would say for me, reach out literally now after this, because it's a little bit more difficult to kind of start my whole process if you wait this late. But again, I think the best time is really a little bit earlier in your high school career.
Thank you. I mean, we have a couple more questions. I'm just going to bring in each coach one real quick, one at a time. We are almost at an hour and a half. So this has been great. A lot of great feedback. We've been consistently having a lot of viewers, which is awesome. So people are interested in the Big Ten, which you should be. But we're going to bring in each coach real quick. A consistent question has been asked a ton is just tumbling requirements, stunting requirements, and things like that. So I'm just going to bring in each coach at a time real quick, and that'll also be the end of our broadcast. So Julie from Indiana, just real quick, Julie, last few words, and also just what are the tumbling and stunting requirements that Indiana is looking for your co and your all-girl teams?
I will honestly, the easiest place to find that would be on the official IU Athletics website. If you will find us there, and we always keep our suggested skill sets that we are looking for there. So that would be my guideline, where to find the guidelines. And I guess most important when it comes to tumbling, at this point in our sport that we're doing and how athletic everybody is, everybody pretty much has the same skill level. So we always encourage you to think of yourself as you're going to market yourself. If you have 25 people standing there and every single person has a standing tuck and 4 of you have a standing full, as college coaches, it's more apt for us to take that. So do you have to have a full? No, but you got to market yourself and keep your skill set as strong as possible. And the same thing with stunting. I think it's hard we don't have a specific stunts that we have. So we have suggested body positions and what we're looking for. So I would go to the IU Athletic website. So, but again, Steve, thanks for doing this. I think it's been amazing. So, hopefully we'll get some future Hoosiers out of this.
I hope you do too. Honestly, I think this is great. We're gonna promote the Big Ten because let's be honest here. I truly believe it's the best conference in America, and that's just my opinion.
It is.
Thank you, Julie. All right, Elise, Michigan State. Last few words, and also real quick, just tumbling and stunting requirements you're looking for at Michigan State.
We do require a standing back tuck on the hardwood, and also a handspring tuck on the hardwood, and then our running tumbling must have a handspring, round-off handspring tuck, and then hopefully a layout and full, which are becoming more consistent. And then co-ed stunts, we kind of the max. We really just want to see a stretch, full down or double down, and how you get to it is dependent on your level. So it could be a hands lib or a rewind lib to a stretch, full down, whatever makes sense for you. We're looking for potential a lot in our program. And overall, I think those are kind of our basics and really versatility. So we want somebody that's able to stunt on a wide range of our cheer gentlemen and also has that cheer ability because we have a great game day atmosphere. So making sure motions and words and personality are big also. That's it on my end.
Awesome, Elise. Thank you very much. All right. Let's bring in Pam St. John, Michigan. Pam, real quick, last few words, and then just real quick, any stunting and or tumbling requirements you want to talk about real quick for Michigan.
I already addressed the tumbling, so I'll just talk about stunting. We have no stunting requirements. Obviously, any experience you can get will make your learning curve shorter once you get on campus, but since so many women come from an all-girl program, we don't expect them to have co-ed stunting experience. And to be honest, most of our men come from different sports other than cheer. So they have no stunting experience either. So basically we're on the job training with stunting. That's it.
Pam, thank you very much. All right, let's bring in for last words, Mike from Rutgers. Again, real quick, last few words about Rutgers, and then just real quick, tumbling and stunting that you're looking for from incoming recruits.
I guess for last words, I would say I encourage everyone to go onto the Rutgers Cheer webpage to see more information about our program, and also go to the Rutgers academic website to learn more about the university. About the Big Ten, this is one of the best conferences in the country, in my opinion, the best. We offer resources that no other conference can offer. I'm sure Steve will go into more detail about that, but it is truly a one-of-a-kind experience here in the Big Ten. As far as skills are concerned, for standing and running and tumbling, we look for skills that are confident game day skills. We like standing back tucks. We like multiple handsprings to tuck layouts and fulls. And for running tumbling, we look for at least a round off handspring tuck, layout, or full. As Julie put it, and she did a really good job of saying this, you're marketing yourself. You know, your resume is what you can put on tape and what you can show us in person. And understand that if there's a line full of people doing the same skills and you have something above them, it's going to give us a reason to give you a second look. So that's all I would say about tumbling. For stunting, for our co-ed tops, we do look for them to have experience doing co-ed skills with their high school or an all-star program. For our Knights team, which is our all-girl team, we look for experience with flipping inversion style skills, as well as collegiate style full-ups. For our gentlemen on co-ed, we take people that have zero experience, and we take people that have a number of years of experience with group and co-ed stunting. We look for a positive attitude, an athletic build, and typically some history of tumbling or stunting as well. So there you go. Thanks again, Steve. I really appreciate you giving us this opportunity to share more about the Rutgers program. Hey,
you're welcome, Mike. Thank you very much. All right, let's bring in Ben Schreiber. Ben, real quick, last few words about the Ohio State program, and just real quick, any minimum tumbling and stunting requirements you're looking for from your recruits.
Yeah. So first, again, thanks for this opportunity. This has been great for all these coaches to be able to share information all in one time. As it relates to skills, partner stunting, we do look for some co-ed partner stunting experience. We realize that that could be a tricky thing depending on where you are. So kind of at a minimum, we want to see some solid toss stunts, prefer looking for some spinning skills and eventually flipping skills. Tumbling, solid standing tuck is a minimum, as well as a running full. That is something that we will do after a first touchdown in the first quarter of most football games. So is it possible to make the team without a running full? Yes, kind of going off of what Julie said, but you better be very, very strong in every single other aspect, of the skill set that we're looking for. Another big thing that I'll just state real quick is we look at a lot more than just skills. Obviously, I briefly talked about game day. We value game day so much and think it's very important, and even have sections in our clinics regarding that, but also making sure that we believe that you would be a good fit with our team, a good fit in our culture, to kind of make sure that we are kind of continuing to move forward as one group, as one unit, as one family. So those are kind of all the things that we consider when we're selecting our teams.
Hey, thanks, bud. Appreciate it, Ben. Thanks for your time today, my friend.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
All right, let's bring in Jessica from Penn State. Jess, last few words about the Penn State program, and then just real quick. I mean, you kind of went over it a little bit, but just real quick.
Yeah.
Minimum tumbling and stunting requirements you're looking for a Penn State.
Yeah, I kind of went over tumbling. So basically stunting, we have two teams. So co-ed, we're looking for those toss skills to the top, toss libs, toss cupies, any type of flipping up to the top as well. So back handspring ups, round ups, rewinds. For all girl, those elite skills as well, hand in hands, full ups, high to highs and low to highs. But basically we want those potential candidates to have the confidence in anything they do. So that's more of what we're looking at. So if they can do it well, but they look confident out there to represent Penn State, that's who we want. So
Jess, thank you very much. Appreciate your time today.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. This was great.
All right, last but certainly not least, Maryland, Yasmin, just real quick. Again, last few words about the Maryland program, and then real quick, just minimum stunting and tumbling requirements that you are looking for at Maryland.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you, Steve, again, so much for doing this. It's been great. Like I said, just with my presentation, if you guys have any questions, visit our website or feel free to email me. In terms of tumbling, you're going to have that standing back tuck. I think I even have increased it to look more at jumps to back tuck. And then running tumbling, we require a minimum of a round off handspring tuck. However, most people that make the team are going to have a layout or full. Being an all-girl program, I do have specific stunts that I do look at. I mean, I prefer for people from, I guess, the all-star level perspective. If you're a level 5 or higher in terms of stunting, that's always my preference. So it's not to say that you won't make it if you don't have those skills. It's just, I have limited 40 slots, and you're competing against everybody that's kind of staying on the team, just our returners. And then also if there's like 3 spots for flyers, it's going to go to those 3 flyers that are like elite tumblers and stunters, and then just go from there. So it's just capacity.
Well, Yaz, thank you very much for your time today. Appreciate it. And
thank you.
Yes, happy to help out the Terps. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right, well, that wraps up everything. Real quick, though, just a couple of reminders. Number one, this came to my attention. So do you need any more reason to come to a Big Ten school? Number one, we all are firm believers that this truly is the best conference in America. It is the best combination of academics and athletics that you're going to find in the country. But if you need even more reason to want to look into a Big Ten school, something that's very interesting is that we have shared research, which means, for example, if someone at Rutgers is doing research on a subject and someone at Ohio State is also, they can actually share their resources. If you need a specific journal that maybe perhaps only Purdue has, somebody from Iowa, let's say, could actually request that journal, and then we would share that. If you want to do a semester abroad, but it's only offered at a certain school like Northwestern, you can actually apply for that one specific Northwestern only study abroad as long as you go to a Big Ten school. And then again, another example is like, let's say Michigan has an online course that is only specific to Michigan. Michigan is the only school that offers it. Again, if you go to Rutgers, let's say, that is an online course that you could actually look into and actually apply for. So that is just the power of the Big Ten right there, everybody. So again, I just want to thank all my Big East buddies for coming on today. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all had a lot of fun and really enjoyed and learned a lot about our programs. Again, one more time. You want to meet these people. If you want to meet these people virtually, ask specific questions. Maybe you think of a question a week from now, whatever it may be. Meet the Big Ten East coaches via Zoom on Tuesday, June 16th at 3 p.m. Gives you a couple weeks to get ready for it. Again, that is the web link. The web link is also in the comments here on YouTube and Facebook. So again, if you scroll all the way up to the top of the comments, you'll see this link. Register. If you're interested in any Big Ten West schools, you can also register for that right away also. So we can help you there. And speaking of the Big Ten West, because I'm in the Big Ten West, so I got to give it a shout out. Next Tuesday, 1 week from exactly right now, 1 week, next Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, meet the Big Ten West coaches and learn about our schools and programs. And then by then, you will have great information on all 14 of the Big Ten schools. Thank you all again for joining the first ever Big Ten Coaches Chat. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay healthy, stay safe. Have a great day.